This is a tutorial to show you some common validation rules and how they work. So the first one I want to do is to prevent users from creating an opportunity in specific stages. In this case, closed won or closed lost. So the validation rule is pretty simple. We're going to say and, meaning these two parameters have to happen at the same time. And so I'm going to say and the record is new, right? So that's going to make it run on creation. Or the pick list value for stage name is closed won or closed lost. So it has to be either closed won or closed lost and is new. And when those happen at the same time, the validation rule will catch the record before it saves. And it's going to pop up an error message saying that you cannot create the opportunity in closed won or closed lost stage, and to change the stage to something else. And we want this to populate at the top of the page. Now I want to point out that there's another field called is closed. And just depending on how your org is set up, you could use that field is closed, but take in consideration sometimes orgs will use the field is closed to also designate like dead or abandoned opportunity, something like that. And so, I mean, there might be a business case where you want to create opportunities in the abandoned stage because you're trying to, have certain metrics pop up. So that's why I'm using the stage name closed won or closed lost. This is also important if you had a process that gets triggered when it actually moves to closed won or closed lost. Like if you had submit to approval beforehand, if the opportunity is created in this final stage, you're never going to trigger your submit to approval process. So think about those things when you come up with the exact formula that works for you. But if we go over here and go ahead and create a new opportunity, and I'm gonna pick some fields to add them to, and I'm gonna say the stage is closed won, and I click save. Here's the errors pops up. You cannot create an opportunity in the closed won or closed lost stage. Try something else. So this validation rule has worked as intended. So if I go in, I'll make it prospecting. If I click save, great, my opportunity was created as expected. So the second validation rule I want to think about is a validation rule that prevents users from saving a record if a field is empty. So is blank is the part of the formula that's key. And in this case, we're going to say is blank, the text in the lead source field. If that is blank, then we want to pop up an error saying lead source is a required field. You cannot update this record until you add lead source. And this is going to pop up next to the field for lead source. So hopefully it prompts your users to be mindful and show them exactly where they need to make the update in order to proceed. So when I created this opportunity, I went ahead and used the source web. But you see here, if I go and I try to set it to nothing and I click save, here's how the validation rule looks. It says review the following fields, and the text next to the field gives us the error message saying that lead source is required. And if you update it to a specific lead source and click save, it will allow you to proceed. So that's just a couple really basic validation rules that should get you started to think about how can you guide user behaviors so that you have clean data down the road.